Hi everybody, Mr. Natural here. Well, I've been thinking about the press and opinions lately, and I noticed that when a celebrity goes out and says something, they might say 10,000 wonderful things, but they say one thing where they're taking a risk. They're going out there a little bit. They're trying to explain to us what they feel and how they think, and if the press objects to it, boy, they feel nothing about just pouncing on them and creating as much fear and loathing as they possibly can. And I've noticed that 40 years ago, when I used to tell people what my opinion was about something, it was just explaining to people who I am and where I'm coming from. And when they would give me their opinion about something, they didn't do it in a mean-spirited way. They did it because they wanted to tell their story of who they were and where they were coming from. And many times we would agree to disagree on things and just go on being friends anyway. I learned a long time ago that you cannot change another person. As a matter of fact, I'll bet you right now that most of you cannot change yourself. So why try to shepherd someone else's life with your opinions? This idea that someone presents an argument or someone says, this is what I believe, this is how I feel, this is where I'm coming from, and we feel we have the right to pounce on them with our opinions, doesn't mean we're expressing an opinion at all. What we're doing is just being mean-spirited. We're being bullies. And we're trying to use the power and persuasive of our point of view as being the righteous one. And I've noticed that this has kind of crept from the press now down into everyday life. I look at most of the arguments on these bulletin boards on the internet. I see most of the arguments in my daily life, and it's people expressing their opinions as if they were laws, and trying to create fear and loathing in the weak people who aren't quite got it right, and we have to come along and straighten them out. And this is baloney. Also, we've got to understand something, that if we want to have a life and express it, that good and evil come together, that wonderful things and bad things happen. If I, as an artist, want to express myself and create a beautiful work of art, I'm also going to create some garbage, folks. And if I really think about it, I can pick up that garbage and compost it and put it right back in the ground and grow fruits and vegetables and lovely, beautiful flowers. That's what opinions ought to be, growing flowers. So when you find yourself in the middle of your happiness, revel in it, enjoy it. But when you're feeling miserable, remember that this too will pass. And when other people are trying to give you their opinions and make you feel smaller and weaker than you are, just remember that in the case of the media, they're making millions of dollars and don't really care about being bullies and making your life a horrible thing. So I think sometimes we need to take this whole idea of the bitter and sweet things in life and sort of get them in perspective and understand that if there's an interplay here that we should rival in and have some fun with. We should frolic with this idea. We should poke fun at ourselves. You know, Lenny Bruce said, if you're going to tell a politician the truth about themselves, you better make them laugh. And I think we need to do that with ourselves. And when other people offer us their opinions, maybe we should laugh at them and not take it so serious and try to poke back. So in lieu of this, I have this student, Hearth. She's a banjo player and she's a brilliant songwriter and a good wordsmith. And she wrote this song that I just adore. And I thought I would sing this song for you to sort of bring this point across that, you know, hey, let's just have fun with the idea that opposites do exist, coexist, and it's our job to put up with all of it and get over ourselves, okay? So this song is called The Bitter with the Sweet by Hearth. Yes, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. Just keep right on a truckin' when you hit that losing streak. They may be hot and hurting, but you're standing on your feet, faking, shaking, quaking, taking the bitter with the sweet, paying debts I never owed, catching hits I never throwed, healing wounds I never knew were incomplete, pulling weeds I never sowed, saving souls I never knowed, choking down the drops of bitter with the sweet, and I rue the day that I was born, torn from that fiery, briery pit that was my mother's womb, and I treasure the great day when this lifetime slips away, and I can rest the rest of ages in the room of death and dying. When I rest me all my rages in the tomb, and the fates unravel when the thread is pulled and severed from its loom. Yes, you get to take some sweet with the bitter. You see, along with rust and bling, there's glitter. When the girls are passed around, sometimes even I can get her. And they're sweet to take the edge off of the bitter. When the girls are passed around, sometimes you'll get her. And sometimes you'll see that sweet turn back to bitter. Well, it's not all loss and litter. You can have some gloss and glitter. There's a butterfly for every wasp and bee. There's a cherry pie for every lump of liver. For every desert, there's a rolling river. You can take your saucy sweet as well as bitter. And I bless the day that I was born, torn from that fiery, briery pit that was my mother's womb. And I rue that tragic day when this lifetime slips away, and I can no more reap the blessings of those lifetimes come before me. All the hard-won gifts and trophies I took as mine for granted, when the tapestries unraveled on the loom and that fate's severed, when the final thread is severed from the loom. Yes, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. I repeat, I repeat, I repeat, and again I repeat. Remember, opinions are like anuses. Everybody's got one. Bye-bye.